I can't believe you haven't read this. Welcome back. Welcome back. We are back with another installment of I Can't Believe You Haven't Read This. Things Fall Apart by Chinwe Achebe. So if you don't know, if you're new here, my husband, like randomly, at random times, he'll say like, I can't believe you haven't read this. And the reasons vary. It could be because he felt like, so many people had to read it as required readings in school, including him. It could be like he assumes I've read it because maybe he's heard me talk to somebody about it, or he's like, girl, it's a classic, you ain't read it, or whatever the reason may be. I was like, you know what? Like he has recommended some bangers that he said I can't believe you ain't read. Let me share it and make a series. There's no rhyme or reason. It's not like on this tight interval he's recommending books, but it's just whenever it comes up, he might say I can't believe you ain't read this. This is a series where I read it and I come here and talk about it. So today we are talking about Things Fall Apart. I actually went into this book without knowing anything about it. Like I knew the title. I knew about the author somewhat. Seen this book floating around over the past few years. I've seen it in the library countless times. And also like at thrift stores, I almost always see this book. That's not saying much except it's popular. You know what I mean? Like you always see a lot of popular books at the thrift store. But I never read it. So one day he was just like, I can't believe you ain't read that. Like, so guess what I did? I got it and I read it. I'm going to read the synopsis first and then I'm going to jump into my review. Things Fall Apart tells two intertwining stories, both centering Akinawa, a strong man of an Igbo village in Nigeria. The first, a powerful fable of the conflict between the individual and society, traces his fall from grace with the tribal world. The second, as modern as the first is ancient, concerns a clash of cultures and the destruction of his world with the arrival of aggressive European missionaries. These perfectly harmonized twin dramas are informed by an awareness capable of encompassing at once the life of nature, human history, and the mysterious compulsions of the soul. Yeah, this book. So okay, the main let's back it. Let's back it up. The main character of this book was interesting to me because, like, for a lot of reasons, you kind of wanted to understand him and like rally behind him. He was a man who he loathed the idea of following in his dad's footsteps. So he did everything he could to, like, his dad went this way, he did everything he could to be this type of man over here and not following his footsteps. He wanted to be a hard-working, strong man. That ended up showing him as like this hard guy who the only emotion he really knew how to display was anger, like towards his wives, towards his children, towards the people in his village and stuff like that. And then you get to see that next generation. He saw in one of his children that they were like his dad. So he kind of saw that and was like, you feel like I don't want to be this person. Like I saw my dad be this type of guy, and I'm gonna do everything in my power to not be. And then you do that, but then you see your son who's like, hold on, I'm seeing a correlation here. These traits kind of overlapping, you know what I'm saying? So it follows that it has strong themes of family, culture, colonization of this village, and then like Africa as a whole, as a continent, but really this village in particular. And I guess you could say like it's just a small subset of what happened on a more widespread scale. But yeah, and it just follows, like, you think about like the norms and the traditions of that time and what that looks like, and then you think about what it looks like to follow the path of your dad or your family or your ancestors or your whatever, and then for you to take another path, what that looks like. it shows, like the synopsis said, like these aggressive white missionaries, European missionaries who came in and just like you want to be. That's a whole other story. But yeah, it shows like them coming in and saying, "Look, I know what's best for you. I know what you need, and this is what you need. Everything you've been doing, like I'm not gonna tell you why that I don't think you should be doing it. All you need to know is I know what's right, and do it, and this is what's gonna happen." But yeah, this book is full of like just it's full of like tradition in a way. First of all, it was really interesting the way it was written. I learned a lot about a lot, and then like we farm on a small scale, like backyard farming. So it was cool to see that the main character, like what his crop was yams, and like just making a correlation between life and being a hardworking man and the crops that you yield and what that looks like for your family, and how being able to produce that crop and that food, how that kind of affects how you look at your worth and your value in your family, and how that's different from now. And all this stuff, it was so interesting. However, I didn't read any reviews. I didn't go look about it, none of that. The ending of this book, it made me so mad. It made me so mad when you think about how a certain group of people can reduce an entire culture, an entire village, an entire people. They try to reduce it to like nothing, and it's like, bro, we've been following this man this whole book, and you mean to tell me this is your view? That's crazy. That's actually crazy. Yeah. Boy, I tell you what. But yeah, this book, it was interesting. It holds a part in here too. Like, I'm not gonna spoil it, but there was a one part where you think about like it was super sad because it was a fork in the road where you could kind of see this man could either accept this nurturing role as like, you know what, I'm gonna go this path, and they choose to go the other path, and you just want to be like, that it was sad. There were some sad parts in this book, but real again. I understand. I think he said my husband read this in high school. I didn't have to read it, and now you know what, I'm thinking back like I did have to read. It's not like we didn't read nothing, like anything in high school, but some of the stuff he read, I was like, why didn't we read this? I didn't read it. I was too busy reading. I was too busy reading some stuff I shouldn't have been reading, but not this. I was reading some stuff I shouldn't have been. But yeah, anyways, that's that. Yeah, like I don't really have anything to say. If you've read this, let me know. Like I said, these videos are gonna be pretty short for the most part, unless I'm going on and on and on about the book because they're single book reviews. But yeah, like it was good. It's African fiction, but African historical fiction. It's very telling. It really sets the stage. I like how he writes. I like the truth that this book told. I like the perspective. I like that it really raises a lot of questions about who are you to come tell me what I need to be doing. That's a whole other thing. And then like that division that it causes. Can you say like this portion was necessary for this thing to be great? Or can you say like, look, it's all bad? Can you say, look, we can come here and show you that these things that were actually harmful, because there are some things like, okay, yeah, that's harmful, but because I'm coming here to tell you that, I'm gonna just ruin your whole way of life because of this one thing, So it raises a lot of questions. Like all of the other ones, it starts a lot of good conversations. I'm glad I read it. Let me know if you've read it, what you think. Let me know. That is it. That's it, y'all. I will see y'all on the next one.